Self-voicing enabled. Akashi Uni BRR. I stare at the road before me, which is now barely visible thanks to the flurry of snow. The storm had arrived violently while I was out, and before I knew it, I had gotten stuck in the middle of it. Akashi Uni, almost home. My breath is visible in front of me as I creep forward on the snowed-over road. Even though my heater is on full blast, it isn't enough to ward off the freezing cold. I shudder to think of how cold I'd be without it. The sooner I get home, the better. I'd hate to get stranded out here in this. Slowing my truck to a stop in front of the cabin, I turn the key in the ignition and shut it off. The heater immediately stops blowing, and I can already feel the chill hit me. Time to brace myself for the freezing winds raging between me and the cabin. Akashi Uni, here goes. I rush inside as quickly as I can, shivering from head to toe despite my thick clothing. The moment I slam the door shut behind me, the sound of the wind howling outside quietens, and the chattering of my teeth fills the room. It's warmer in here, but not to the point where I can whimsically toss aside my extra layers and flop down on the couch. If I suddenly remove all of my extra layers right this instant, I'll probably pass out from the change in temperature. Akashi Uni, whose idea was it to start living out here anyway? As the sole occupant of this cabin, I expect no response to my rhetorical question. For better or worse, I decided for myself that I would live in these snowy mountains, all on my own. Akashi Uni, alright. A bite to eat, and then I'll turn in for the night. Akashi Uni, in the middle of a snowstorm like this, it's important to keep nourished and warm. After reminding myself to adhere to a few basic survival tips, I filled a kettle with water and turned it on. Akashi Uni, man, am I glad I have electricity out here. Akashi Uni, without ready access to hot water, there's no way that I'd survive out here. Akashi Uni, I should have enough food to last until summer too, by which point I'll be able to go into town without freezing to death. Akashi Uni, life out here might just work out after all. It's pretty uncommon for a woman to try to live in an isolated place like this. In fact, I'd no doubt raise concerns for anyone wondering why I'm out here. Thankfully, my life had been uninterrupted and peaceful thus far. Not to mention, at the time, this cabin was my only option. The moment I think so, my body begins to shiver once more. I feel cold wine brush up against my cheek, threatening to give me frostbite if I dare to take off any layers of clothing. Akashi Uni, that's weird. It shouldn't be this cold inside the cabin. Akashi Uni, I know there's a snowstorm out there, but this cabin is pretty well insulated. It shouldn't be this cold unless the door is open. Curious about the source, and also desperate to stop the cold, I walk through the cabin, trying to figure out where it's coming from. After checking all of the windows, I wind up near the back entrance of the cabin. And surely enough, as soon as I spot the back door, I have my answer. Akashi Haha. Gotcha. I hurriedly clear away the snow at the base of the door, which seems to have stopped the door from opening or closing any further. I then close the door, lock it, and move a few things in front of the door to prevent it from opening even if the lock were to break. Akashi that ought to do it. Akashi but how did the door get open in the first place? I could see myself forgetting to lock it, since I'm all alone out here anyway, but there's no way I'd forget to close it. Akashi is the latch broken? Akashi sigh. Forget it. I'll think about it after I've had something warm to drink. I turn away from the door and begin to walk towards the kitchen. No sooner have I begun to move my foot, however, than I realize that the floor is soaking wet. Akashi some snow must have blown in and melted. Akashi I guess I'd better clean this. Akashi up. My eyes widen as I realize something important. There isn't just one puddle of water, there are several. Following a clear, non-linear path, the puddles show me the path someone, or something, has taken. Akashi damn, an intruder, or maybe a wild animal. I instinctively grab an axe that I keep for wood off the back wall. Akashi sorry whoever you are, but a girl can't be too careful. We're the long way from medical help out here. Axe in hand, I head deeper into the storeroom, prepared to defend myself against the potentially dangerous person or animal that has wandered into my home. Moving even further inside, I cautiously move around the table and freeze. Mirroring, asterisk shiver asterisk. Akashi what the? My arms lose all strength as I stare at the peculiar sight in front of me. On the floor in my storeroom is a girl. She's shivering, wet, and her breath is ragged. Red-faced, yet blue in the fingertips, the poor girl looks like she's about to freeze to death at any moment. And yet, what attracts my attention is Akashi that tail, and those ears. Akashi it couldn't be. Without thinking, I drop my axe on the floor and reach out towards the girl's ears. I gently tug on her ears, trying to pull them off, or otherwise expose their stitching. However, no matter how hard I pull, there is no sign of it being a practical joke. As far as I can tell, these wolf-like ears are real. Akashi impossible. She really is a half-human. Akashi that can't be right. I made absolutely certain that this place wasn't intruding on the domain of any half-humans. Akashi did I make a mistake? Or is she just mirroring, then NNGG. Asterisk shiver asterisk. Before I can mull over the girl's presence any further, her whimper brings me back to reality. Akashi you right? Whatever the reason for her. Akashi you I'll worry about the details later. For now, I have to make sure she doesn't die. I grab the towel from one of the shelves in the storeroom and immediately begin to dry the young girl off. Her body is so cold that I can feel it through the towel. Her skin is deathly pale, and she can't stop shivering. Desperately, I rub the girl's body, trying to both dry her off and warm her up. However, no matter how much her body moves about, she does not stir. The girl is breathing, but unconscious. Even if I tried, I don't think I'd be able to wake her up. Akashi you shit. This isn't working. Akashi you I'm going to have to step things up a notch. Many hours pass by as the unconscious wolf girl continues to rest. Over time, her breathing gradually becomes less ragged, and color returns to her skin. Self-voicing disabled.